Hi and welcome to the Monday session. I'm not saying Monday live because of course I'm not live. I am down in Devon at Two Bridges, hopefully not too wet and cold, we'll see, but I'm sure we'll have a nice time there. We do our gourmet bridge events down there and we have usually do have a lovely time. So I'll be back for teams on Thursday this week, don't forget. So I'm Monday to Wednesday in Devon. And then I do the teams event, the first of the month, on Thursday. So hopefully we're going to have some fun today. We're finishing off the double annually, as it were, so the last effort at that. And whenever I'm finishing off, I love to get example hands in, and I've got three lovely ones here. What I'm calling the good, the bad, and the ugly, as you'll see. So that will be nice. Last week, the prize teams was great. Really tight, not as exciting hands as the previous weeks, but some tight hands and some reasonably good bridge, I have to say. Not all perfect, but some good bridge played. Yeah, some exciting stuff. With the website, what's happening? Well, we're changing topic, of course. As we go into February, we will be looking at 4-4-4-1 hands later in the auction. So we've done opening them. In fact, we did that almost a year ago, last February, funnily enough. But now we're looking at them a little bit further. So you open them, what do you do later? And so that should be fun. That is going to be our February topic. And then the other aspect of the site that we're hoping to change is we're going to move quite a few of our bridge elements into bridge. Into bridge, INTO bridge, all one word, I think it's a nice site. They're very personable, and it's smallish in nature. So I think it'll meet our needs. You'll have the option, if you want to play with your cameras and your voice. If not, so I'm hoping to move the Monday duplicates there gradually, the set hands there, and the beginners and novice sections there. So those are three different sections. Of course, we'll have elements on BBO. I'm going to do my teams there as well eventually, my live teams. The Pogo Club will still be as it is at the moment, but I think it'll work well for us. So do look out for that. We'll do some more free sessions and give you an opportunity to get used to it. As usual with these sites, registering for them is free of charge, and I genuinely recommend you to register with a similar name to that you've got on BBO, because then we will have that name. But remember to give us your name. As a member, you must give us your Into Bridge name so that we can then have a table of people who are allowed to play in our sessions. So that is quite exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also hoping to re-promote the set hand sessions as a really important aspect of getting the most out of the seminars, so and try to bolster some of the numbers, because I know some of you have been trying to play those and have had to sort of miss out every so often, so I want to get those better. Okay, the way we usually start, we've got the usual things. So we'll have the seminar, we'll have the bidding quiz at the end, and we usually start with this. So let's go to it, which is the suit combinations is what we're doing at the moment. Excuse me, suit combinations. So here, as usual, the last few times, this is a hangover from Friday, and the cliffhanger, as it were. What I do is I give you a suit, and I just want you to, imagine the best way of playing it, really. So here you're in 3 no trumps by South. You get a spade lead, but the crucial suit once again is clubs. Okay, the crucial suit here I want you to focus on is clubs. Okay, so we may well be ducking a spade, etc., but the main issue here is how might you play the club suit, and if there's nothing exciting about it, you need not worry, as it were. Okay, so how would you play the club suit? Okay, so as usual, we'll come back to that in a moment. A couple of things about our holidays before we go into the seminar. So March, we've got plenty of things for you. Unusually for us, and I am trying to extend it around the country, unusually in March, we've got a wonderful balanced view of the country. We have Lancashire, Lincolnshire, Denham, which is Uxbridge near London there, and Cornwall. So yes, we're not up in Scotland, we're not in Wales, but at least the UK is covered there. We're not doing enough further north, and I appreciate that, and I am working at it. I promise you. I've got a lady now I'm engaging to find me hotels. Okay, she's going to be doing that for me, so it will happen, or at least if it doesn't happen, it's her fault, not mine. Okay, and also, of course, the holidays abroad. They've got Tunisia, March to April there, and Iceland, one of the cruises we're promoting. But we've got some lovely cruises there in spring and summer, so do look at those. I really recommend the cruises. We have some great fun on those. It's a great way of seeing the world, and you still, if you want to see the shows, you still can. You can play a shorter session of bridge, but for some of you who prefer just to be occupied in the evening with bridge, we have the bridge in the evenings there, which is lovely. Okay, so where do we go next? Well, what I do is I have a little look at this. Now, the PowerPoint's going to be very short today because I am going to be using Q+. So all I'm saying here is example hands, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, example hands, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They've been sent in by you. And what you may need to do is remember, you might need to hit that cogwheel and adjust your screens once I've got this set up. Okay, because this is going to be the setup. I'm moving on to the next hand, and let's have a look now. So going to Q+ then, here we are. You're sat in the east seat. This hand was sent in by Martin Jones. So let's see how it goes. It goes pass, we pass as east. Now, north-south are vulnerable against non-vulnerable opponents. So it goes 2 spades by south. Okay. It then goes pass, pass, and it's back to you. Okay, so it goes pass, pass, 2 spades, pass, pass, back to you. Okay, they are vulnerable, we're not. I'm going to be honest here. I'm not sure I'm going to find a bid here, because even though South is third in hand, I would expect South to have a decent suit. And if South has the ace-jack or ace-queen of spades, my king looks relatively worthless. So I'm, in a sense, looking at a 5 count. And not only that, a large proportion of the time when partner's got 4 hearts and 4 of a minor, he's going to bid hearts, isn't he? So I have a feeling that we might not find the right fit. So I am going to be honest, I would pass. However, Martin Jones, who sent the hand in, they were very much focused on double annui and the borrowing of kings, etc. Here for me, even if I borrow a king, so if I had an 11-point hand and I had my king of spades sitting under the spade bidder, I do not feel I would merit a takeout double. And that's why I feel I'd probably pass here. However, at the table, Martin and his partner found a great double. It works brilliant on this hand, as you're going to see. So I just want to show you the hand. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly, probably all in one hand, to be honest. So South is third in hand, and we've discussed third in hand quite a lot on the Fridays, but I mean, he's vulnerable against not. I can't think of a reason really for bidding here. I might open 1 spade, but that's a very different matter. Okay, a 2 spade here, oh dear. I mean, on a suit as bad as that, I don't like it at all. And as you can see here, actually, if you pass 2 spades out, which I will have done, you would have got a good score, because 2 spades will go 2 off for 200. And this is the vulnerability talking. And this is why I'm saying to you, it's crucial that you look at the vulnerability here, because 2 spades minus 2 is a complete, well, not a complete bottom for South, because if he gets doubled, he gets a bigger bottom. So here, 2 spades doubled minus 2, and it's going 2 off easily. You're going to lose 4 spade tricks and 3 aces, ace, king of diamonds and the ace of clubs, if not more. But that is 7 tricks, which is clearly 2 off already. So 200 is the bottom, 500 is a massive bottom. And I don't think you're going to be in a game. I mean, you're not going to make a game. I suppose, I mean, you could easily have overcalled 2 no trumps over 2 spades, I have to say. And you might have finished in 3 no trumps. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to get there. 3 no trumps, I have to be honest, with the north hand, I'd lead the king of hearts. So you will end up taking the first 4 heart tricks. The king of hearts is led to the ace, actually. South should overtake it with the ace and lead the jack straight back. And of course, north can then see that his king, queen, 10, 9 are winners. So they take the first 4 heart tricks and obviously are going to make either a club or a diamond. In fact, it gets quite nasty for De Clara because he gets a little bit squeezed on the 4th round of hearts. So De Clara ends up having to lose another trick at least and go 1 off in 3 no trumps if you get there. So 2 spades minus 2 is good enough for me, but well done for the double. I think that's pushing it. If partner had had the same hand with 4 hearts, in fact, give partner 4 hearts to the ace queen and 3 spades, of course he's going to bid his hearts, and you could be in quite an ugly contract there. A 4-3 fit with 2 balanced hands. So definitely worked out nicely here. Okay, but I don't mind leading over. For me, you have a free rein 3rd in hand. But remember, you've got to do it for a reason. When you're vulnerable against not, and you've got 10 points, so you've got, you know, a reasonable hand. Opening 2 spades on this hand looks like you've got all your eggs in one basket. And believe you me, they were in the wrong basket here. Okay, let me just work out what I want to do with the next hand, so bear with me. I've just got to do a slight adjustment. Put south is going to be visible. Okay, instead, and we're going to go to the next hand. This one's sent in by Stuart Pye. So thank you, Stuart. Let's look at the auction on this one. Again, we don't necessarily have to agree with these bids. So north opened 1 club. Pass from east, and we bid a spade. I think that's normal. I know it's ugly, but it's normal. South bid 3 diamonds. That's vulnerable against not. It wasn't clear whether this was alerted or not, okay, or announced, but north doubled anyway. It goes pass, and if you remember the topic of this month, and we're still just about January, it's responding to takeout doubles. And this is the kind of hand I don't put in that seminar because I've got absolutely no idea where we're going to go here. So partner has asked you to bid again here. He's suggesting shortage in diamonds. So I would say he's probably got, I mean, most of the time he's probably going to be 5 clubs, 4 hearts, and 3 spades is the kind of shape you expect him to have, but your spades are grotesque. And you've only really got 1 fit. Could you pass is the question. I have a feeling you're worth no diamond tricks at all here. Your partner doesn't have to be super strong for this bid. I mean, with the right shape, with the singleton diamond, he thinks he needs to be bidding. So I've got sympathy. So I'm going to be honest, the bid for me is 4 clubs. It looks really ugly. It is really ugly, but I think that's what you should bid. Okay, I mean, let's look at the hand, and it turns out that West has a very strong hand. Now, you would obviously ask at the table, and sometimes you get a response from which is I've no idea, which really people should know what your jump over calls are, you know, but sometimes, well, I don't know kind of thing. Sometimes people vary them with vulnerability. They'll play strong when vulnerable and weak when not, as it were. This is definitely a strong jump over. If North had known, with 15 points, it's still tempting. You know you've got the majority of points, or you feel you have. Sorry, only 13 points. I'm exaggerating. 13 points have put lots of 10s and 9s. Maybe if 3 diamonds is a strong jump, maybe passing is wiser. Maybe it is. It's a close call. But anyway, the important thing is South has to find the right bid. And I think the right bid here is 4 clubs. It's still ugly, but it's less ugly than other bids. I'm not sure they're going to be able to double that. And if you're lucky, you know, four clubs might, if it's two off, will be better than three diamonds making. I don't think it's easy for South to double four clubs here, for West to double four clubs, because I think West is probably placing his partner with close to no points at all, given the auction. And if you take away the King of Spades and the Queen of Hearts from the East hand, to be honest, I think four clubs has got a good chance of making. You know, put the Queen of Hearts particularly in the North hand there, and suddenly, we've got four heart tricks coming nice and easily, because the King, of course, is finessable. But four clubs is ugly. How many tricks you make is anybody's guess. If they lead a diamond to the Jack, a switch, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to be playing it, but because you haven't got many entries to the dummy, have you? So doing that double heart finesse is going to be really tricky. I mean, let's hope you make 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You might scrape 2 off, and if you scrape 2 off undoubled, you've got a great score. You might be 3 off. But 4 clubs is better than everything else. That's a thing. Passing's not going to be great, because remember, 3 diamonds doubled is a game. 3 no trumps is clearly hopeless. But it does pay to know the types of overcalls this asks, because I think if North asks East what that overcall is, and East decides I think it's a strong one, well then North might choose to pass it, and then you finish in 3 diamonds, which I think is a bit safer. 3 diamonds passed out. Okay, so an interesting example there. So thank you for that one, Stuart. This last one, do you know, I think I'm going to keep all of the hands open for the next one, because to be honest, it's a little esoteric, but what's interesting about it is that there's one really good bid and one really bad bid. And it's interesting what people come up with, but anyway, it's amazing. Everybody bids in different ways, and that's why we love bridge. So North is the opening bidder here. North opens 1 heart, which is a normal bid. Obviously, East passes, and South uses the Jacoby 2 no trumps, okay, which is alerted. It says, partner, I have 4 card heart support and a nice hand. What would you bid with the West hand here? Okay, you're non-vulnerable against non-vulnerable. And I think West judged it just about right here. I think 5 diamonds is too much. If I was non-vulnerable against vulnerable, I think 5 diamonds is perfectly reasonable. So if you're non-vulnerable against vulnerable, you know, there's a fair chance that with 8 diamonds there, you might be able to cobble together 8 tricks eventually if you give partner something. And if you can't, well, then the likelihood is they can make a slam. And they are starting to inquire about a slam in a way with that 2 no trump bid. But at this vulnerability, I think 4 diamonds is reasonable. Okay. It takes away the accuracy of North-South bidding. I mean, what do you bid with the North-South hand and the North hand here? I have to say, with the ace singleton, I would be tempted. You've got... It's not quite a 5-loser hand, because the Queen by itself in clubs is not so powerful. And in fact, it turns out that it isn't powerful at all. It's surrounded by the King Jack on the hand, but it feels like a good hand. And if partner's got a good hand, I think if I just bid 4 hearts here, a lot of the time I will be, missing a slam. At the table, it went 4 hearts. I think you should regard this auction as forcing. And I think 4 hearts is your weakest bid in it. That's not easy. But I think I play 2 no trumps Jacoby when I play it as forcing to gain partner. Let's see. So for me, a pass here is a stronger bid than 4 hearts. 4 hearts is my very weakest bid. Pass is saying, partner, I think there could be a chance for a slam here. Okay. Oh, I genuinely think there is. Where it went ugly was this. I have no idea where East found this bid from, but East bid 5 diamonds. Now, the point is, I think East has worked out his partner's got a void in hearts. But what East has to remember is the reason that West bid 5 diamonds in the first place was because he had avoided hearts. So 5 diamonds is simply, remember, they've already got their fit. They've had a chance to explore. 4 hearts from North hasn't necessarily suggested they're going to go for a slam. So all that East is doing is giving South a chance to enjoy double ennui a little bit more. And that's exactly what he did. So that was a really ugly choice of bid. So they've switched around because diamonds have ended up as trumps. And 5 diamonds doubled going off is actually probably going to be worth nearly as much as a slam anyway. I forget how far it went off, but you can see it's pretty ugly. It should only go. Let's have a look. If Declare is forced to play clubs, Declare will only make 1 club trick because the Queen 9 is sitted over the 10. It's a funny thing in bridge, in cards as a whole, is that although the King Jack is sat over the Queen of clubs, the Queen 9 is sat over the 10. And it's one of those frozen suits. It depends on who leads them. And I think it's going to be Declare who's going to be forced to lead clubs. So eventually I think Declare will lose 2 club tricks, 2 spade tricks, and just a diamond. So it's only 3 off, which is 500. So that's not so bad. I don't think there's any way the opponents can change that. They just keep leading hearts. And as long as, it's possible. I think at the table, it's possible, because I think Roger had said it had gone for 800. Of course, Declare has a number of ways of playing and might have chosen to play the King of Diamonds, trying to drop the singleton Queen, rather than playing a small one, hoping that the ace is singleton. Does that make sense? So you have a choice of playing in diamonds, how you chew it. How you choose it. You can either play the Jack of Diamonds, hoping the ace is singleton, or the King of Diamonds, hoping the Queen is singleton. Okay. Clearly, if neither of them are singleton, you will lose 2 tricks. Or you could try to get to dummy in clubs, I suppose. As it is, it's better than a slam, but of course a slam doesn't make. I think it's tricky for North-South because it looks like a slam should make. You've got all of the key cards and you've got, I think, a reasonable amount of strength. The problem is that Queen of Diamonds. The Queen of Diamonds is the wasted points. If that Queen of Diamonds is anywhere else, then South's hand is, you've got enough strength. So put the Queen of Diamonds in spades, for example, or the Queen of Diamonds in, as the Jack of clubs. Jack 10 will make it to make up for the Queen. Can you see you're going to make a slam? And the problem is here, you're losing, you end up losing a club and a spade. I say you're going to make a slam. You'll have to find some play. You probably wanted 3 diamonds there. Okay, but there's definitely, it looks like there's the potential for a slam, but unfortunately it doesn't make. So if you get forced, and that's the point, 4 diamonds has made it difficult for North. Well, it's a brilliant bid. I love the 4 diamond bid. That's the good. The ugly is East. Okay, I think 4 hearts is a bad bid. So you've got the good from West, the bad, and the very, very ugly, and then the good again from South, the double. Because South has a balanced shape, and therefore double is good. But I like North passing over 4 diamonds. Remember, that's a forcing pass, because we've already agreed we're playing in 4 hearts or better. And it would suggest, partner, I'm interested in a slam. From South's point of view, South is looking at an 8-loser hand. 3 aces undoubtedly, but an 8-loser hand because he regards the Queen doubleton in diamonds as 2 losers. Okay, so I think South will probably just go 4 hearts anyway. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed those ones. I know that sometimes the example hands are less easy to follow, as it were. Because they're not precisely they're not as precise, shall we say, as the ones that I look at or choose, as it were. Anyway, let's have a look at the suit combination. What were we thinking there? Let's have a quick auction first. Obviously 1 heart, pass, 1 no trump, pass. I think probably 2 no trumps is enough. With a 4-3-3-3 hand, I think you need partner to be maximum, and he is indeed maximum. Okay, I'll just, in fact, I had meant to let the opponents lead here, so I'll let them lead. I'm assuming they're going to lead a spade. They might not do. Let's have a look. Yep, Queen of Spades is led. What's your plan? Well, nice and easy here. 8 top tricks. You need clubs to come in. And those of you who will have been to blocking and unblocking, so that's a great fun session. We did lots again, rather like the subject we're doing this Friday, which I was going to talk about after this. On Fridays, we're at the moment doing protective bidding and what you do when you come back in, reopening auctions, and it's a great fun tactic. Now, in fact, from Friday onwards now, we're talking about slightly longer auctions where we protect. Last Friday, we did pass. Question mark. Now, though, it's going to be sort of 1 heart, pass, 1 spade, pass, 2 hearts, pass. Do we reopen the auction, etc.? So this one was on blocking and unblocking, and it's a classic situation. The clubs are normal. We're just going to play the ace, king, queen out. There is one extra chance, and that extra chance is that West discards on the second club. If West discards on the second club, we are in a position to take a finesse, because we'll know East has all the other clubs, but will you be in position to take a finesse? And that's the key. So we might as well duck the first one. Always duck it. You never know. They might switch to a club or something like that, which would be desirable. They don't. Okay. I think I'll, it's not unreasonable to duck another one here. You're never going to make any super extra tricks here. And who knows, it might cause them to, discard. They might even switch at that point. You never know. Okay. So a club discard is interesting. That's sort of, to be honest, as soon as I see that, I'd be suddenly thinking there could be a 5-card suit. Because when someone discards in a suit like that, it could be from shortage, of course, but it could be from great length. Remember, we should never really be discarding from 4-card suits early. But if East had a 5-card suit, perfectly reasonable. Now, what looks normal is to play the king of clubs, followed by the ace of clubs. That is normal play. The problem is, well, can you see the problem? I lead the 10, and if it's not covered, I know the 10 wins the trick. East has got the jack. Remember, West has discarded, but I'm blocked. And unfortunately, I can't reach my queen of clubs. Okay, so the key to playing the suit, of course, is that we are going to unblock the 10 of clubs. So on the first round of the suit, I play the 10, and on the next round, I play to the ace. If they both follow as usual, in fact, if they both follow, I know they're breaking because someone's discarded already here. But the key here is I'm just planning to play to the queen unless I know that East holds all the other clubs. And of course, now I play a small one and I can play the 9 and I finish in the right hand. And my queen of clubs is a winner. Okay, so we make our 9 tricks there. Okay, so there's the East hand. You can see why he chose to throw a club there on the spade, because it's a rather uncomfortable discard and one of the good reason for ducking twice. Okay, don't get me wrong, if you've got potential for other tricks, you'll only duck once maybe to cut them off. Here, ducking twice makes a lot of sense, as I say, for a good reason that West might choose to change suit anyway, and then we'd still have the ace of spades as an entry. Okay, here though, West continued spades. Okay, we played the king of clubs, dropping the 10 underneath, and then a club to the ace, and that unblocked the suit. So it looks just like a normal suit that you play out normally. And if you've never seen an unblocking play like this, well, then you're not likely to get it right, okay? And if you want to revise the topic, do go back to blocking and unblocking. It's one of our Fridays. You'll find it in the Friday archive, and you can have some fun with that, or decide it's not fun. That's up to you. Okay, so that's us done. As I say, the Friday Live, I think, is the special offer this week. So if you do fancy that, it's at half price. Remember, the members get it, of course, included. But if you want to join me on Friday, please do. I am back. I'm back on, of course, Wednesday. Don't forget, again, that the Teams, the live broadcast, me playing, is on Thursday night this week, not on Wednesday as usual. So we're going to be looking at the the beginners in a moment, but here is your bidding quiz to finish. 3 hearts from your partner, 3 spades overcall. What do you fancy? I think this is quite a tricky one, actually. It's an unusual one. So 3 hearts by your partner, you sigh because you've got a wonderful hand, but obviously void in his suit. 3 spades overcall, and it's your choice of call. Both sides are vulnerable. That, I think, might make a difference to you. Both sides are vulnerable, and it's your call. 3 hearts, 3 spades. Interesting. So don't forget, you can look that up on the website, whether you're a member or a non-member. So I hope you enjoyed that quiz. Thanks very much for your company. If you want to stay for my beginner section, please do. But if not, have a good week, and hopefully see some of you on Thursday, some of you on Friday, and some of you back next Monday. Okay, so we are going to look at the beginner stuff, and we're continuing, of course, with the competitive bidding. Okay, and we've been talking about overcalls, and what we discussed was that it's a completely new set of rules. I'm afraid you're learning a different language. As we saw, we're overcalling, apologies, on slightly weaker hands, very often because your ambitions can be different. Okay, the going off every so often is not going to kill you. Minus 50 isn't a very big score, whereas whenever they make a contract, they will score more than that. Okay, understanding the scoring is tricky, and for that reason, when we teach novices and beginners, we tend to teach them slightly different aspects in responding to overcalls, as we'll see. So, overcalls. What we stated was that 1-level overcalls need 5 or more cards in the suit, and generally we start at about 8 points, okay, and up to about 16. With 17 or more, as we'll see, we can do slightly other things, okay, but it's a similar range to an opening bid, and that's what we discussed. Remember though, if you are overcalling on weak hands, most of your points should be in your suit. You should have a strong suit, including that middle bid. Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8, for example, is a strong suit because you know you've got 3 tricks. Queen, Jack, 10, 9, 8. You lose to the ace and king, but you've got the Jack, you've got the 10, 9, 8 to make up for it. 2 levels, of course, you've got to be a bit stronger. And to be honest, you're very close to an opening bid here. A 6 card or longer suit and 10 plus points is pretty much an opening bid, isn't it? And if you've only got 5 cards, you should have an opening hand. Okay, because most of the time we like to have 6 cards for a 2-level bid. Okay, just 1 more than you would have had at the 1 level. Okay, generally it should be a strong suit because you've moved quite a distance up in the auction already. There'll be times that, you know, if it's a 1 spade opening and you overcall 2 hearts, if partner doesn't like your hearts, he's a bit stuck. Okay, so a decent hand for a 2-level overcall. Okay, again, the weaker you are, the sort of stronger suit you have or longer suit you have in both types of overcalls there. So if you've only got 10 points for a 2-level overcall, you really should have a good 6-card suit or better. So how are we going to respond to overcalls? So again, the language is subtly different, but not too different. Okay, the set of rules is the first element, in a sense, I hope, is obvious. If your partner is promising 5 cards, then of course you will only need 3 to respond. We're looking for an 8-card fit. So because you've got this new set of rules, i.e. partners promised 5 or more, responding on 3 is the norm. Okay, and that's important. If we found a fit in a major, we'll often be bidding our 3-card suit, as in supporting partner, rather than introducing a new one. It's really important. And as you'll see generally in bridge, in auctions, if you've got support, it's a really valuable asset. We've seen that when we've been supporting partners opening bid, that we can add on for our distribution. So if you find support, try to show it. The other element, of course, is you don't have to bid. Now, opposite an opening bid, we say that with 6 or more points, we should respond, because of course your partner might have 19 and you'll get to that magic 25. But if you know your partner's never going to be that strong, you don't need to bid on those what we call rubbish bin bids. 6, 7 or 8 points don't need to bid. With 9 points, sometimes we will bid because, you never know. But with the rubbishy hands, you just pass. Leave your partner in it. Hopefully he's just at the 1 level anyway, if that makes sense. So let's look at that. Here's your hand. 1 diamond from your left-hand opponent, shall we say north at the table. 1 spade from your partner, and then a pass from the next hand. So there's 3 bids. 1 diamond, 1 spade pass, and you are the next player to bid. So the first thing to note is you do not need to make a bid. And actually, if I did not have support for my partner, I would not make a bid. But with 6 to 9 points and a supporting hand, I'm still going to make a bid. Okay? 2 spades. If you're happy with that. Partner, I would estimate that we should be able to make this because we've got a fit, and even if you're weak, I don't know why the opponents aren't bidding. Notice what 2 spades does. Can you see how tricky it makes it for North? North's next bid would need to be at the 3 level, or, well, 2 no trumps or higher. Whereas if you pass 1 spade, very often North just gets to make another bid at the 2 level and they comfortably find their best contract. It wouldn't surprise me if North and South should be bidding hearts. But they're going to have to start at the 3 heart level now, aren't they? Can you see the idea? You're supporting for a number of reasons. You're hoping to make the contract, but you're also stealing the auction, as it were. Remember, key element here is you have no interest in bidding clubs. You've got a lovely club suit and it seems natural, but remember our raison d'etre in the auction. Aiming to find a major suit fit. We have found one, so we don't need to talk about other things. Show your partner you've got that major suit fit. Okay. However, if you don't have a fit with your partner, there's no reason to bid. So here, 1 diamond, 1 spade pass. Don't like it. Don't like my hand. I'm passing. Does that make sense? So 1 diamond, 1 spade pass. Don't like it. Okay? So we just pass. If my partner had opened 1 spade, of course I would have been forced to respond 1 no trump. Or I should do, because partner might have as many as 19 points. But for an overcall, partner shouldn't be that strong, so we can just pass. Last but not least, this is a tricky element, and I want to discuss this. But when you learn about supporting, there are 2 methods. And I like to tell the beginners and novices the simple version of things. Now, there'll be some of you out there, as a novice and a beginner, who might have already learnt the advanced rules. Okay, there are subtle differences between the way we bid. As novices and beginners, we still bid in a way to invite our partner to game. So let me show you what I mean. So the same auction, 1 diamond, 1 spade pass, question mark. Okay. Now with a hand like this, you have 8 high card points and a singleton. You have support for spades, not just support. You have 4 cards plus 5. So you've got a good support. Okay. And with that singleton, I would feel that you are worth inviting your partner. Are you happy that you have 8 high card points, add 3 for the singleton, that's 11. You've got a big fit. You should invite your partner to game. Now that's important. That's as a novice and beginner, that is what that 3 spade bid means. It is inviting partner to try for game. Okay. For more experienced players, 3 spades isn't going to mean that. Okay. And so there's a subtle difference. For beginners, the reason why I want you to think of it as that is because that's what it looks like. That's what we do when we're opening, isn't it? If I bid 1 spade and you jump to 3 spades, I'm thinking, oh, shall I go to game or not? I want you to think the same here. 1 spade, partner jumps to 3 spades. Oh, shall I go for game or not? Okay, and that is generally reasonable. As we'll see, as you get more expertise and you play more, you can bid 3 spades not to necessarily make the contract. That gets a bit more tricky. Okay, so for me, the jump to 3 spades is strength, length and distribution. You're inviting partner to game. So again here, 1 diamond, 1 spade, pass. You've got a fit here. You've got 12 points. I think you should invite game. So once again, with the novice and beginner rules, I would jump to 3 spades with this hand. That is not what I would do as an expert or a more experienced player. Okay, we will be doing things, crazy things like bidding the opponent's suit, bidding 2 diamonds here, which is liable to confuse everybody at the table. Okay, these are bids that you learn about as you go on. So here, I would feel that with 12 points in my hand, I'm not going to go straight for game, because I know, partner, you can overcall on just 8 points. But I think you can also have a decent hand. So I'm going to invite you to game. Partner, if you've only got 8 points, I think 3 spades is high enough. But if you've got 11 or 12 points in your distribution, probably 4 spades might be on. So 3 spades is inviting with your strength and length. So the previous hand, only 8 high card points, but that beautiful singleton. Here, you've got the 12 high card points. Both of them, of course, with a fit. So subtle differences there. When we begin bridge, we've got to look at things in a simplistic way. When I jump to the level below game, I'm saying, partner, I think there's a chance for game. And that seems reasonable. And I think, as we'll see next week, if East has a decent hand, he's going to be able to bid game. So we'll see that. So thanks for that. I hope you enjoyed that. It is tricky in bridge, in the auction. You've got to learn a variety of languages, but gradually, hopefully, given time to practice, you'll get used to it and you'll enjoy it. Remember, those are novices and beginners, we have a piece of software on the site which allows you to practice all of these things. I really do recommend you have a go at it. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you again next week.